recession's affecting everyone. We heard some big salary cuts. I think Tim Cook took a $50 million pay cut. Goldman Sachs is taking his pay down to $25 million. Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon. Big cuts here.
Isn't it a little offensive?
No, it's good optics.
No, offensive that, they should do I'm going to do $1 salary until we stop laying off people. Because these guys have made hundreds of millions of dollars. Tim Cook's a billionaire.
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
David Solomon's made hundreds and hundreds of million. You could tell me he's worth 500 million. I wouldn't bat an eye. I have no idea.
So, Tim Cook, Apple has not laid anyone off.
Even Donald Trump took $1
when he was president.
Salary. Yeah. Donald Trump even did it.
Oh my God!
Where does he need the 22 million for his DJ Coachella set? Like, what's going on? His Burning Man set?
Put it into the production.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Group Chat, the number one podcast in the world. Last day of traveling. We'll be back to the regular scheduled program, back in studio on Sunday, but we have an action-packed episode. We are talking about the Indians in Nashville. Mm-hmm. Very interesting bunch. The
Indians in India. Big fraud.
Real. A lot of fraud happening in India.
Yeah.
Religion and financial.
Right.
And then we talk about the most hottest stock market we've had in 18 months. Absolutely bananas what's happening in the market. We talk about potentially Jerome Powell ruining our parade. Mm-hmm. And so much more. And of course, winners, losers, content. And we announce all the details to the Discord channel for all the Chatty Cathy Club members. So look out for that.
And how to get an in-person hang.
In-person hang. He's hosting his first club hang, and which I should be able to attend to, assuming it's near the office. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, everyone, let's get into the episode. All right, everyone, we are back with another episode of Group Chat. I'm still on the road.
Where you at?
I'm now in the deep South.
The South, huh?
Is Nashville South or Midwest? What is Nashville? I don't even know where Nashville is.
I feel like that's a drama question. Doesn't he go there?
Yeah, but I feel like people claim Nashville is the South.
Possibly. I'm not familiar with those parts, so I'm not going to try to make a claim.
I'm a big Nashville guy. I'm here for a few hours, literally a few hours.
So I went to Nashville once. Nice town.
It's really nice. Downtown Nashville has gotten like incredible. Like it's beautiful, like where the stadium is and all the restaurants and it has like a pretty eclectic kind of vibe. I just landed, went to lunch with the H-Wood crew. They are opening a Harriet's, a rooftop at the One Hotel in Nashville.
Wow, that's great. Congratulations to Brian and John. The empire keeps expanding.
Yeah, it's really cool. And
so you're not staying for that?
I am. It's tonight.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay,
yeah,
got it.
Yeah, I literally
Cocktail attire. I saw the invite. What are you wearing? Cocktail attire.
I assume cocktail attire in the deep South is a little different.
So I just Googled it. Nashville is the northern part of the South, or Tennessee. Northern part of the South and the southern part of Midwest. So it's Mid-South.
Oh, new region.
So it's good that we're unclear because it is unclear.
Yeah. So Mid-South. I'm in the Mid-South. Excited to go to Harriet's. And it's cool that like, I'm sure if you thought, 10 years ago, a popular LA bar opening in Nashville probably seemed out of place, and now it feels very natural, which is pretty cool. Definitely. And then linking up with Ryan, he's got Lo Ciento all over this city. It's literally everywhere, which is so awesome. And so if you're a local Nashvilleian. Go check out all the places Lo Siento is at, soccer stadium and all the bars and restaurants, and of course at Harriet's. But yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a little fun night. And then cocktail attire, which we'll have to see what that looks.
You got to take a picture of yourself.
I have a white button-down shirt, a white 5'4" button-down, some 5'4" pants, New Republic sneakers. So it'll look cocktaily, but I don't have a blazer.
I don't know if you need a blazer for cocktail attire.
Okay. We'll see. And then other than that, I'm exhausted. I haven't been home in 6 days. Been a long week, so I'm ready to go home.
I'm assuming you have an early flight.
7 a.m. I took a 7 a.m. this morning, 7 a.m. tomorrow.
You've got to be running on fumes.
Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm soulless. I'm shocked.
I know, just hearing your updates in the various group chats, it makes me tired, and I haven't left LA the whole week.
Yeah, and the thing is I don't know how most people are, but I don't sleep in hotels. Like, I just can't sleep.
Really, I actually like it. The darkness keeps me asleep longer.
Like, I think I woke up this morning at 3:00.
In the morning?
Yeah.
And then you didn't go back to sleep?
No. Couldn't.
So what did you do? Just get on your phone and start screwing around?
Yeah, I got my laptop out and just started responding to people.
Oh my God. That's a problem.
I got an hour on the plane, hour and a half. And then I got here. I had work to do basically up until now. Had a little lunch. Interesting. I was at a barbecue place with the guys called Martin's. Apparently it's a popular spot. A lot of Indians.
Really?
Just not being Hindus. Just beefing away.
Beefing away, huh?
Yeah. I don't know about this next generation of Indians.
Well, I don't even think it's a thing anymore. Next generation, if you think about our generation, everyone eats meat.
Yeah, I guess so.
Were they young or were they fobs? If they were fobs, that'd be more interesting.
I would say it was leaning more fobs.
Oh, they just got to America.
They just landed in America. They work at Google Nashville, and they're like, "Give me some brisket."
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I think, I don't know if we're eating out again for the rest of the trip because they have their party, but food's good in Nashville. I like it.
Yeah.
And, as you can tell by the new data that has just come out, consumer spending has declined, but it's still pretty damn strong. Let me tell you, this barbecue spot was slammed with people. Slammed at noon. It's a Friday, but this restaurant was so big, slammed with people spending money. So all the key inflation data is saying that things have eased, but consumer spending only declined a very modest 0.2%.
Yeah, so if we just want to get into the markets this past week, it's just been roaring.
Yeah.
Tesla's
Rory
up
McIlroy.
Exactly. So Tesla's up 75% year to date. I don't know if it's year to date. It might be like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So Kathy Wood got a big win because she was buying in the low hundreds.
She needed it.
Lucid, another EV company, was up 75% in the morning. Now it's up 40% just today.
Peloton's up 50%, I think, year to date.
In the last month, yes. And then Carvana's even up 20% today. So a few things. I think these are short squeezes.
Okay.
In a short squeeze, basically, I think they've been shorted so much in the last year and people have made so much money that I think the bears could just be getting greedy.
And they just closed out.
They didn't close out their shorts, and the buyers came in. And this is what I've been kind of saying from the top of the year. There's record number of cash dollar amount on the sidelines from institutions, funds, sovereign funds, record high. Where else can you put large quantums of capital? It's the U.S. equity market.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of when, not if. This could be a fake rally, so I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, we're off to the races. But the general sentiment is like, when do we step in, not when do we leave? And last year, like I said in the last pod, it was just when do we leave was all of last year. And I don't know, the market's just been on a tear. I think the NASDAQ's up like 10, 12% in the first, 3.5 weeks. It's the best run since 2001 in that time frame. And here's the kind of wrinkle. America's biggest villain, Jay Powell, talks next week.
Yeah, he's gonna quit.
He's they. DJ Khaled says stay away from they. He's they.
Oh yeah, he's gonna day the shit out of next week.
Yeah, that's
he can't be happy. He's gonna have a shitty weekend because everyone's talking about the markets are back, recession's over.
Yeah, I think he tries to crash the party.
I'll tell you the biggest thing that I read that I actually think crashes the party more than anything is American Express CEO came out today and said, we aren't seeing recessionary signals. And we all know American Express caters to a higher end customer, but they still have, upper middle class customers, right? And
yeah, of course. The gold card, there's no fee.
And
it's
so
the platinum, there's a fee.
No, I think green card is
a green card. Sure. But one of their cards doesn't have a fee, which means anyone could get it.
Yeah. And so the point being is that if American Express, which still does cater to the higher end consumer, is saying there's no recessionary signals, that's basically saying that interest rates have not affected a cohort of the consumers.
Yeah. So, and the earnings have been fine, at least whoever's been reporting.
I mean, Intel shit the bed.
Yeah, they fell. But in general, the world, or at least the American economy, is still humming along. And I think inflation has rolled over, but we'll see next month. And because think about it, you're coming off such a high target. There isn't much to come down.
Eggs are through the roof.
Yeah, there's always a new culprit every month. 1 month
I'm more
it was
curious
used
to
cars.
see if China's recovery impacts energy prices.
So I sent you a chart. Natural gas prices have fallen off a cliff. Yeah.
Remember, that was the big scare. Russia, Ukraine, the world's over. Yeah. The Europeans are going to freeze to death.
Yeah, I don't think anyone. I know plenty of people in Europe this past December. They had heat.
They had heat. That's what we're hearing. Yeah, I mean, I think so you're saying that's going to happen.
You're saying you're speculating whether if China comes back roaring, does oil go up because
demand?
There's so much demand.
Yeah,
it's possible. We still, I mean. Are they fully open? It's so unclear. You never know what to believe because obviously they're so walled off. But I saw an article today that LVMH, they're still like, we know the American consumer is a pig. They're stronger than ever.
Yeah.
and so their sales are still crushing it. But they said they still don't know how to read the China tea leaves, meaning they don't know if they're going to be roaring like the Americans. I'd assume they are. But
why wouldn't they?
They
love to shop over there.
Yeah, I think
they're
also
roaring.
I think so too, but I think in China now, what is clear is if you show you have a big sign of wealth, like I'm assuming they're going to see the registers, they're going to start targeting you, just like they targeted all the CEOs of all these big companies.
By the way,
that could be the only hesitation.
You know what podcast I fell asleep to on the plane this morning?
What's
your
that?
guy Zohan.
Zahan. Yeah. Zohan.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I love it. I love everything he's saying. China's over.
How far along did you get?
I think I listened to the whole thing.
Got it.
Because it just rolled into like another podcast. I mean, I fell asleep, but the things that I heard clearly, I don't agree with his famine and energy issues of China. Like, I just don't believe that's going to happen. But
yeah, especially because they're building like 40 nuclear plants to like
I think they're
subsidize all their energy.
to hedge their risk on that. But the population decline is real. That's
real. That's 100%
real.
real.
I mean, you built housing, you built retail, you built an entire industry economy around that many people, and now it's just less and less.
Didn't you? How about how he just like called everyone there a moron? He was like,
well,
they don't think ahead.
Everyone's afraid to talk to Xi. Yeah.
Everyone's afraid to talk to Xi. He's sidelined everyone. Everyone there is old now. And before you weren't allowed to be over 68 to run the country. He changed the rules because I think he's 68. And he basically said China, which if you talk to any economist over the last 20 years, their big praise for China is that they think 10, 20 years out. And they have their like every 5 years, they put out a new plan of how they're going to stabilize the country.
They think like 50 years out.
But your boy Zohan said they don't think ahead at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's what's happening real time, that the population thing was it could be the biggest misstep in world history.
Yes.
Because
I agree.
Other than that, they're just unstoppable as a force, a world force.
Yeah, the population decline's real, and then you're going to have this aging population that's going to be a burden on the system. So who's subsidizing all their healthcare costs? And well, it'll be interesting to see. But I don't think they're like blind at the steering wheel. The way he claims.
I agree. I agree with that. I mean, the things that could change China, which it doesn't make sense that it'll ever happen, but immigration.
I just don't think that'll ever happen.
If immigration got instituted in China, the country goes in a completely different trajectory.
But it's proven to be like you could be arrested for anything at any time.
Still,
so how can you attract sophisticated entrepreneurs? I'm sure you could attract like labor workers and hourly wage workers, and
they can evolve. China's evolved a lot from what it was 50 years ago.
Yeah, but the way you build the economy is if you had high skilled talent, and I don't think any high skilled person is like rushing to go to China when the country was locked down for 3 years and they jailed all their biggest CEOs.
I think I could think of a high skilled person in India that probably want to go now. What's up with your boy Adani?
Adani. Oof. What a story.
Adani was the richest man in the world like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I think.
He was up there. I don't know if he beat.
No, there was a day I got a notification from Wall Street Journal, like in the last couple of weeks. Adani, richest man in the world, Indian entrepreneur. I never heard of this guy. I never heard of any of his businesses. Now, richest man in the world.
And in the last like 10 years, this was all built.
What's the shenanigans? So it's all wiped out.
So no, it's not all, but it will be. Yeah. So here are the shenanigans. So Hindenburg Research, which is they like expose frauds. I think they did WorldCom back in the day. Yeah. And they're very credible like organization. So they tweeted out, I think 2 or 3 days ago, we're going to uncover the biggest fraud in history. And everyone's speculating, like, who are you uncovering?
Yeah, because we just did FTX. What else do we got?
Yeah. So this company was, I think, peak $212 billion company, the Adani Group. So they published this research report, and I read it, didn't really understand it. So I asked some friends that are in finance, like, can you explain this to me? So I'm going to go on a little rant. Ask me to clarify something if you think it's complicated.
Okay.
So this company went public, and they only allowed 3 to 4% of the company's total shares as a float that people can buy, which is very small. So
that's legal.
That's legal.
Okay.
That's 100% legal.
Okay.
But then what was uncovered, and in this research report, and apparently all high-level people in India knew this was going on. And I'll get back to that. So then he created shell entities all around the world, in Mauritius, in Singapore, Dubai, all these different places.
Okay.
And he used his illiquid stock and pledged it and got loans in all these different domiciles. So He raised billions of dollars in loans against
So
his
banks
shares.
gave him loans.
What's that?
Banks gave him loans against his stock.
Against his stock.
Yeah, so
Which
that's the thing.
technically is fairly illiquid, right?
Okay.
And because there's only 3 to 4%, and he owns like majority of the company. And then what happened was all these entities, it wasn't known that it was all his money. So he hired cousins, relatives, his homies, all these different entities,
Okay.
and they had billions and billions of dollars, and they all owned one asset. They just kept buying the Adani Group stock. So then it was just compounding. The stock just kept going
So
up
he
and
took
up
the
and up.
loans against his stock to buy more stock.
Yes, and no one knew it was his money. Everyone just thought like, oh, all these mutual funds love this company. And
Wow.
that's highly illegal according to like Indian rules and any rule, like, because you have to disclose who the buyer is. He was the buyer. So then all these mutual funds in India, just similar to here, when a company gets to a certain value, you automatically throw them into your index and you buy it.
Yeah.
So it was this compounding effect that this company went from like nothing to like a $212 billion company with very little assets. It was, I think at the peak, it was the most expensive stock in the history of the world relative to its earnings. And then he actually, because now his stock was valued a lot, he would use his illiquid stock to like buy steel mills and like all this stuff and try to, he's trying to fake it till you make it.
Like
so he
actually
started
have now real.
trying to buy assets with it. And that's what happened. And I don't think anything's going to happen to him. And the reason why, apparently, he's just a more successful SBF. He's Prime Minister Modi's biggest donor.
Yeah. So it comes down to if you're going to commit fraud, you just need to donate politically.
So was that clear? Could you guys understand that, Javier, Tay? That makes sense?
I get it.
Yeah, makes sense.
No, because I know not everyone who listens to this pod is in finance. You have to like.
But what's interesting is it does 23 billion in revenue. So you're saying he acquired all that revenue over the last couple of years with this shenanigans? Like he didn't actually.
It's unclear what was acquired, what wasn't. I'm sure if you maybe the research report actually exposes it.
Yeah. So the market cap has $50 billion in market cap has been wiped.
And their bonds are trading at pennies now. So they've fallen off a cliff.
Yeah. Interesting. So he's fine.
Probably.
Wild. It's interesting. I mean, this is like on another level. It almost feels it's so big that it'll have such an impact on the Indian economy that you just can't take them down.
Yeah, because think about it. I mean, the amount of capital flow into India has been pretty significant over the last decade from American and European and Asian sovereign funds and hedge funds and institutions.
Yeah.
Now you just got to question whether any of these companies are real in India.
Yeah.
I mean, this is of the biggest scale. What's crazy is the frauds just escalate. We thought a $30 billion company going to zero, FTX, was crazy. This is a $212 billion company.
What's bigger? Is this, I mean, it would have to be Google or Microsoft at this point. There's nothing left that's bigger.
I mean, yeah. I mean, how many companies are worth over $200 billion? Not that many.
No, not many.
I mean, even Facebook's only 350, 400 billion now.
Yeah. It's wild. I mean, like we always say, like these people become so brazen. And the reality is, the sad reality is when you get this big, you're almost protected.
Yeah. And what's crazy is Modi's whole like reign has been, I'm taking down corruption.
Yeah.
That's been his like flag in the sand. Like that's what my goal is to do, because India, like many countries, including here, is very corrupt, but more corrupt there than here. And that was his like stake to claim, because we obviously have tons of family in India that are still there. And like when you talk to them, it's just that they've accepted how corrupt the country is, and they know there's nothing can be done.
And they love Modi.
Unclear. I don't know.
You don't think so?
I think the business community, I think he did he's clearly protecting the business class because not many people have gone down. And there's a lot of corruption.
Wild. All right. Well, that's going to be one hell of a Netflix show.
Yeah, no, that'll be a good one.
That'll be
what
great.
was that? Bad
Boys of India.
The Bad Boy
Boys of
Billionaires?
India. Yeah.
What was that Netflix show? Was it Bad Boy Billionaires?
Yeah.
Something like that?
That's what it was.
Crazy.
All right. Recession's affecting everyone. We heard some big salary cuts. I think Tim Cook took a $50 million pay cut. Goldman Sachs is taking his pay down to $25 million. Goldman Sachs CEO, David Solomon. Big cuts here.
Isn't it a little offensive?
No, it's good optics.
No, offensive that, they should do I'm going to do $1 salary until we stop laying off people. Because these guys have made hundreds of millions of dollars. Tim Cook's a billionaire.
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
David Solomon's made hundreds and hundreds of million. You could tell me he's worth 500 million. I wouldn't bat an eye. I have no idea.
So, Tim Cook, Apple has not laid anyone off.
Even Donald Trump took $1
when he was president.
Salary. Yeah. Donald Trump even did it.
Oh my God!
What does he need the 22 million for his DJ Coachella set? Like, what's going on? His
maybe
Burning Man
to
set?
put it into the production.
I don't know. Goldman's laid off people.
Yeah, but he lives an expensive life.
Yeah,
I'm
I
okay
just
with
think
it.
You're okay with it?
Yeah, you gave the public pay cut. That's good enough for me. That checks the box. You tried.
But I think if you were an average person, you'd be like, "Oh, great, you went from 47 million to 22."
Yeah, I get that, but at least it's a cut.
Okay.
You're suffering too, David.
Maybe he's making up with his DJ gigs.
Yeah, he's so rich there, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
All right, big news in technology and in the private markets. Stripe gave out some vague comment that in the next year they'll go public. And Stripe, if you don't know, one of the most valuable private companies in the world. It's a payment processor. It's kind of been this iconic story of these two young guys, Patrick and John Collison, and they are basically going public to give liquidities to their employees. I think that's really, they have pressure from the team. It sounds like they don't need money, but then they're raising money. So I don't know if they actually need the cash, because the rumor is they could be doing a fundraise at $50 billion right now. At the peak, this company was worth $95 billion.
No. $320 billion.
Really?
That's what it was trading at in 2021. Like, if you wanted to buy Stripe stock in 2021, it was $320 billion.
Oh my God.
They didn't raise at that rate, but that's what people were trading at.
Okay.
So now I'm sure their last round might have been done at 95 billion or 100 or whatever.
Yeah.
But people were buying Stripe stock at $320 billion.
Wow. And so now...
and it was impossible to find. That's the funny thing. Because there was so much demand for Stripe that you had to get in all these crazy vehicles, forward contracts, pay 20% of your fees. And now at 65 billion, employees, I think, can sell. So that's trades are getting done at $65 billion valuation, which is like $25 a share.
Well, in this article, it says they look like they're looking... Stripe had approached investors, including Berkshire Hathaway, about raising at least $2 billion in fresh cash at a valuation of $55 to $60 billion.
If Warren Buffett buys Stripe, that'll make me believe that they're going to have a good outcome from here.
Yeah.
He doesn't lose.
He doesn't lose, yeah.
But I'm sure his is going to be structured like warrants. If it goes below 10 billion, I own the company.
Yeah, he owns Ireland. He owns Ireland if it goes under 10 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
all right. Well, I'm curious to see if and when they go public and how that stock trades.
Yeah.
It's probably still a very high valuation from an EBITDA standpoint. So I'm curious to see what it trades at.
Yep.
All right, this is big, 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 exciting news because it involves some very close friends. PacSun announced yesterday that Alfred Cheng, our good friend of the pod, a former guest of the pod, is leaving PacSun to become the CEO of Fear of God. Huge
news.
Huge news. And
give some background on Fear of God. Everyone knows what PacSun is.
Yeah. Well, the other interesting news to that is the new co-CEO of PacSun is also a good friend, Bree Olson. So congratulations, Bree. Well deserved.
Nice.
So huge shout out to her. And Fear of God has just been probably one of the more special startups in LA of the last 15 years. And, when you think startup, you only think technology company, but I'm talking about ultimate value, created revenue, everything. Fear of God is just a very, very special story. Started by Jerry Lorenzo, someone that we knew previous to him being in the fashion industry. He was in nightlife, probably arguably one of the most successful nightlife people in LA history. Mm-hmm. And started a brand called Fear of God, a luxury brand. Started with vintage T-shirts, became very close with Kanye. Kanye started wearing the product. He was part of like the design crew of Kanye's team of Jerry Lorenzo and Virgil Abloh and all these guys, Matt Williams, all these like legendary, iconic figures now. And several years ago, he struck a deal to do a diffusion line called Fear of God Essentials. And it was exclusively for PacSun. And it quickly became this insanely popular brand. And then they have rolled it out into other stores. So it's in Essence, it's in a ton of retailers all over the world. The business, I have no idea how big it is, but it's huge. Mm-hmm. I assume it's very profitable because it's the most seen brand. I see it more than Supreme. Hands down, anywhere I go, any airport, anywhere I go, all I see is young people wearing Essentials. And now I see older people wearing it too. It feels like to me, it is from a pure unit and revenue, the biggest streetwear brand in the world.
Yeah, you do see it everywhere. Every celebrity wears it. Every athlete wears it. Yeah. And, you've obviously known Jerry forever and we've worked with Alfred forever.
Yeah.
Great partnership. Congratulations to everyone.
And, you can only assume with Alfred coming there, if they're going to expand, they're going to grow. They have a deal with Adidas. They have so many categories they can still unlock. They launched kids last year. They can do so much more in footwear.
I have a bunch of Essentials kids for Mav. Yeah. He stays in Essentials.
Yeah. It's such a huge opportunity. They can roll out Essentials retail, global distribution. And it's like, the sky is the limit. And Alfred is like a public company CEO type. So I expect huge things from Fear of God and Essentials. Huge.
Yeah, it's super exciting for streetwear too.
Yeah, it's a big. It's showing streetwear is growing up.
Yeah, and streetwear is now mainstream.
Yeah, and you're getting like high-powered execs to now come kind of lead the way.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Cool.
It's great.
So excited. All right, moving on. This is what I would do if I was really rich. I read yesterday an article in Bloomberg that this guy is spending $2 million a year to de-age.
Biohacking is the hottest thing for rich people.
Yeah.
It's wild, whether it's the diabetes drugs.
Ozempic, baby.
Ozempic. Everyone, sauna, cold plunge. Everyone's doing everything.
Doctors, diet. What's interesting is this guy's spending $2 million a year, and a lot of it is around diet, recovery, and all the different things, exercises. A lot of it is very fundamental stuff. I think he's like obsessing over it, and he has the resources to do it. His name is Brian Johnson. Jeff Toll was quoted in the article.
Yeah, I saw that. It's cool.
And look, if you have all the means in the world, why the fuck not?
Yeah, Jeff Bezos doesn't look like that without a team working with them. all the time.
I know I talked about it last episode that everyone was on the Ozempic or Saxenda, whatever it's called. A lot of people on TRT too. That was a big phrase I heard last night.
Yeah, TRT's hot. That's what Bezos is on at the minimum. Rogan talks about he's on TRT. Here's the thing with all those things. You have to be really rich because you can't stop any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like you have to do it for the rest of your life.
And I think the big piece to it, why it's such a rich person's thing, is you have to monitor all parts of your body because it does have side effects.
It does have and like they're pretty severe unless you're monitored like all the time.
And that's what these guys are doing. That's why he has 18 doctors, this Brian Johnson guy. And he has every type of doctor monitoring him. He's doing blood tests probably every week. And that's how you do it.
Yeah, you have to be pot committed for the rest of your life to do any of these things. Because here's the thing. We don't know any of the side effects for people who don't need it for specific diseases or conditions. When you're just like, don't have those conditions and what happens in 15 years? We have no idea. Because this whole fad just started in the last 5 to 8 years where it was commonplace to talk about it, commonplace to, use all these things. And like, maybe by the time we're 50, they'll have a new game plan and we can start then.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by it. It's just, well, it shows, once you have everything in the world, the only thing that's left is mortality, right? Like, how do you conquer that?
Yeah. There's like people at Google who've all been quoted, like, I just want to live long enough to live forever.
Yeah. That's insane.
They think they're going to solve it. But the problem, the problem is we haven't figured out how to reverse aging in the brain.
I mean, these guys are going to figure it out.
I hope so. It's super important.
Very exciting. I mean, look, I think people look at it and a lot of people make fun or joke at it, but like these people are pushing science forward. That's going to have a massive impact on humanity at some point because all these things will get commercialized at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all for it. If you're a billionaire and you want to go spend your money on this, go do it.
Yep.
You're helping all of us. All right. This is another really fascinating article. Real estate market in America. So they have 5 on CNBC. They had 5 markets with the largest annual rent increases. So I don't know if you've seen the list, but if you haven't, I'll let you take a guess.
I haven't seen the list. So what's the question?
The 5 markets with the largest annual rent increase from the second half of 21 to the second half of 22.
Miami?
Nope.
Austin?
Nope.
New York City?
Nope. You're not even in the ballpark.
Okay, so where are we going?
Indianapolis up 30%. Median rent at the end of 2022 is $1,700. Charleston, South Carolina, median rent up 25% to $2,700.
That's crazy.
New Haven, Connecticut is $2,800 now. Naples, Florida, $6,400 now. Pittsburgh, $1,800, up 23%. It's insane.
It is insane. And what that shows you, it's big city people that during COVID were like, why am I struggling to make ends meet to live in New York City or Los Angeles or Chicago when I can go to these smaller towns, get big houses for a fraction of the price or rent for a fraction of the price? Because the person who's paying $2,700 in Charleston would be paying $6,500 in New York.
Yeah. No,
that's what I think the dynamic is, because I think people are like, during COVID, we're like, why are we stretching to live in these cities? I mean, LA is unaffordable. We know that.
Yeah. No, I get that. I just, when you look at Charleston at $2,800 median rent, I don't know, like maybe the cost of living outside of rent is much cheaper. Like we just had lunch in Nashville. Like it's obviously cheaper than having lunch in LA. Gas is cheap, all these things. So
what'd you get at the brisket place?
I got grilled cheese and French fries.
Okay.
I didn't have brisket like the rest of the Indians there. Just chowing down. But here's the more interesting thing. 5 metro areas with the largest annual rent decrease in the same period. Number 1 was Memphis, Tennessee.
Wow.
Dipped 5%. Port St. Lucia or Luce in Florida dipped 5% again. Cape Coral, Florida, Fort Myers, Florida, dipped 5%. Palm Bay, Florida, dipped 4%. And then last was Phoenix, Mesa, Chandler, all that area dipped 2%. So there are, it's not like the inverse is not happening either, right? It's not like rents are dipping in big cities. They're just dipping in other small towns.
Yep. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a really wild list. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to winners, losers, content. What do you got for winner?
The winner is Dubai.
Wow, again,
they opened the new Atlantis, which I saw all over social media.
Yeah,
every celebrity seemed to be there. The rumors Beyonce got 24 million.
I heard 32 million. Someone was saying.
No, so then I saw a TikTok clip on Breakfast Club with Terrence J. He came straight from Atlantis to New York. I guess went on the show and he was in person saying he heard that 24 was her check and 45 million was including production.
Holy shit!
How insane is that?
I think
and every celebrity was there.
Yeah, look, it continues to be where people, look at that and be like, they just spent all this money on a concert. It's really the exposure.
Oh, they got hundreds of millions of views on that.
Because everyone's talking about it. They're like, okay, who paid Beyonce? Where is it? And then you go look it up. You don't need that many vacations to cover 40 million bucks.
No. And I mean, it's just amazing marketing. And, we wished our friend Robert Gamch, happy birthday. Was it last week or the week before?
Yeah.
And he's out there and he was just DMing us saying it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Because they opened a restaurant in the hotel, it seems like.
Yeah. I mean, look, Middle East has one of the greatest rebrands ever.
Unbelievable. I have a friend who listens to the pod. He's in Saudi right now. He says it's pandemonium. He's like, no one's talking about America. No one's talking about it's like the Middle East knows that this is their moment. And the F&B that's going to go to Saudi will be absolutely wild. Everyone suspects that. So alcohol is already drank privately in Saudi and all those palaces and mansions. Everyone has full stock bars. But publicly, everyone thinks this year is the year because they're building so much stuff.
Yeah.
And they're starved because if you want to be a tourist destination, you're going to need all those names. You're going to need, I don't know. I'm sure they have Nobu already, but whatever, Nobu type brands. And you need hundreds of them.
Yeah, and you need to have liquor to get non-Arab people there.
Yeah, so he was telling me at the Cipriani there, the bar is fully built. There's just nothing in it. So they know it's coming.
Oh my God. I wonder if the Middle East will ever be like Nashville, like Broadway, where it's just like...
I mean, Dubai's a rich Nashville. I mean, everyone's wasted. It's just really nice places.
But you're not doing it in the middle of the street, right? Like it's not done like that yet.
Yeah. I mean, you're technically in LA, you're not walking around with the tall margarita like Vegas.
No, but people are wasted.
Yeah.
Super. That's a good one. My winner of the week, another big comeback. I would say the biggest comeback in tech product history. Apple Maps.
Really?
Apple Maps arguably is the biggest piece of shit map technology I've ever used. Sucks. Mm-hmm. Terrible. They have rebuilt Apple Maps. It's like Yelp meets Google Business. It's unbelievable. When you go in Apple Maps now and you scroll down, it's what are the businesses? What are the lists? What are the restaurants? What are the coffee shops? The Apple advertising engine is going to be the scariest thing that hit the internet. It's going to be so big. Think how many people are going to start using Apple Maps and getting business recommendations from it, like places to eat. Everyone's going to have.
What made you even launch Apple Maps? Because it's not even on my radar. I read an Apple Map update. Okay.
And I was like, oh, let me go check this out. And then I tried it today when I land. I was like, oh shit, this is good.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And so like Google, I think, has to improve Maps. Maps is basically the biggest opportunity for advertising, right? Local business advertising. Like when you're scrolling on Google Maps, if there's a Taco Bell, you should be like, they should be able to buy an ad to tell you you're 80 feet away from a Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Huge opportunity. So I think Apple Maps is just going to be a enormous windfall for Apple.
Yep. I like that.
Loser.
My loser, and I hope I'm dead wrong, in advance of next week, Jay Powell is going to take a sledgehammer to our bull market run, and we're going to roll over the other way, unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong.
Okay.
But I'm just bracing for impact.
That would be not so good. I kind of like this like high-flying stock market again.
I'm seeing like pretty big like investment people on Twitter that like are pretty public saying like this is starting to feel like January 2021. I hope it is. January 2021 was fun.
Wow. All right.
So, Jay Powell, don't ruin us.
I know. So nerve-wracking when that guy gets on the mic.
Yeah.
My loser is unfortunately the staff at BuzzFeed.
Okay.
So BuzzFeed announced that they want to lay off their staff and go full ChatGPT.
I saw that.
And the stock went up 300% in 5 days.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, BuzzFeed was a SPAC that was probably down 99%, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was done. And literally the stock is on absolute fire. I'm really interested to see how journalism is impacted. How much of journalism is driven by opinion versus just regurgitating facts? Like what percentage of stuff in the news is facts and what percentage is like given some sort of opinion? Is it like 10% opinion, 90% just regurgitating?
I think it's probably mostly regurgitating facts with a tinge of opinion in the article.
Which you can tell ChatGPT to do.
Yeah. And just say like bad, Russia bad. And then they just put
There's
it
a
in.
war happening between Russia and Ukraine. And guess what? I don't like Russia.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think journalism is going to change. I think a lot of industries, accounting is going to change dramatically.
Yeah. Law.
I think law, legal, all financial services. Like what I did in investment banking should have been automated. Like, it's good to learn those skills just so you understand how finance works. But if you really think about it, it should be automated.
Yeah.
Plugging away at Excel 24 hours a day.
Yeah. I mean, I think what Microsoft's going to do with Excel and OpenAI is going to be like industry changing for so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Like models should be automated.
Yeah, no, totally. And then you won't have any errors.
Yeah.
Do you have any models we made in investment banking that are probably wrong?
Yeah. No more accounting errors. Fraud will be a lot harder in this new era.
I hope so.
All right. What's your, let's move on. Content of the week.
Content, You People. It's on Netflix now.
Okay.
I saw it in the theaters last week because Netflix releases movies in the theaters like a week before just to build buzz.
Okay.
Laugh out loud, funny, hysterical. Jonah Hill, Eddie Murphy, Neil Long, Lauren London. Great cast. Hysterical.
You said I'd love it.
You would love it. I would be shocked, floored, flabbergasted if you came back and said, I didn't like it.
Wow. Okay. I'm very interested. I mean, it sounds like a cast it's the most insane cast.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
All right. And I like the name, You People. It just seems funny.
Yeah, it's great.
And
I have another one.
What?
One more. I started watching Severance, which I know I'm late to the game to. It's on Apple TV. Amanda had already seen it. She's like, you have to watch it.
Is it good? I watched 5 minutes. I got bored. I turned it off.
Yeah, I figured you would.
It seems just like serious.
It's serious, but then there's a little comedy in it, but it's like dark comedy.
Yeah. Okay. I'll check it. I'm not going to check that out. I'll be honest. I'll watch You People though. I'll do You People.
You People's right up your alley.
Yeah, I'll do You People.
You should download it for your flight home.
I'm sleeping. I won't be sleeping tonight. So I need to get at least a few hours before I get home. My content is football. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the blockbuster AFC NFC championship on Sunday. You got the biggest names. You got Joe Burrows. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got Jalen Hurts. And then there's that other guy on that other team. But I don't know that
Purdy.
guy. Yeah, whatever.
Purdy. What are you talking about? He's the hero of the year.
Yeah, no one cares about it.
Last pick of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. He's 8-0, I think. He hasn't lost. And he has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. This is Tom Brady reincarnation. I
think it's incredible for the NFL for him to win. It's blockbuster, right? Like, because it's like an American dream being the last pick, you know.
He's from Iowa. He's a very vocal Christian.
Love it. Love God.
Yep.
But, so give me your picks.
Niners, Bengals, Super Bowl.
Okay, that's a good Super Bowl.
Joey Burrow goes into Lake Arrowhead and puts Mahomes on vacation.
So
you know the moxie that the Bengals fans, not to go too much on football, so the Chiefs Stadium is called Arrowhead.
Yeah.
And the Bengals are calling it Burrowhead because he just beats Mahomes every time he goes there.
He beat them last year too, right?
He's 3-0 against Mahomes in his career. I love Joey Cool. He's too cool.
I saw him lose the Super Bowl very vividly and up close.
We did, but the guy, he's a star. And if he wins, he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
This year, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. Everyone just counting out Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts.
Well, he's on one leg. He's on one leg. But all the betting's on the Eagles. I just picked the Niners. Like 80% of the bets are on the Eagles.
Yeah. All right. I'm excited. I like it because it's all blockbuster teams with superstars. I don't like when there's no superstars. I like superstars.
Yeah. That's why the NFL wins.
Niners are stacked with studs. Like, it's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's my content. And then we have some shout outs. The first shout out is to Bernard, a good friend of the pod, down in San Diego, from the California Sock Company, 35th birthday. He's celebrating his 35th birthday, and he wanted to give a shout out to Parker Burr, who's turning 30 on the 27th and also getting married this year. So happy birthday and congratulations, Parker. And Bernard wanted to throw in, this is a good way to get a free code out, Bernard. Go head over to CaliforniaSockCompany.com and use the code group chat and you get 35% off until the end of February. You better buy them Chatty Cathy tokens, Bernie.
Yeah. Bernie needs to write a check for that shout out.
By the way, if you're in San Diego, incredible store, great socks, all these fun novelty items. I have a lot of funny socks from him. So happy birthday, and hope you and the family enjoy it. And next shout out is from Alexis Bennett to Trey Parker, who I've got to meet on, and you got to meet too. I met him in New York. And birthday is also on January 27th, and wishing him a super awesome, happy birthday. Been listening to the pod since 2019. His wife turned him on to it. And she wanted to give you a shout out for the smartest, hardest working guy in private equity and the ultimate Cathy. Happy birthday, Trey.
Happy birthday.
And then we now have launched the Discord for all the Cathy Club members. And Anand's going to host his first in-person meetup, or you put up some dates for or some time slots for people all over the world if they want to call in.
Sure. We could do some Zooms.
Yeah, maybe do like a Zoom happy hour. We could do one of those too.
But for the people in LA, it'll only be disclosed on the private Discord channel for the in-person event. And if you want even Zoom hours, if you give a shit to talk to me, it'll only be in the Discord.
Yeah. So Javier, how do we do this? Educate us on how do we all use our Chatty Cathy token to unlock our Discord?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to be releasing that Discord link. And then once you click it and you get access to it, what you're going to want to do is go into the collabland/join channel. And once you hit there, you'll be able to connect your wallet, and that's going to verify that you actually have the NFT. And then it'll open it up. And then at that point, you can, everyone that's going to be in there is a verified holder, definitely a Chatty Cathy. And then yeah, I mean, it's fairly simple. You just hit let's go, connect, and then it should just unlock for you.
And if anyone's having technical difficulties, just DM the group chat IG.
Yeah, that's probably the best. And then we'll connect with the devs on our side and to try to figure out what issues.
Yeah, so I think you should we'll post it on our Instagram, but then maybe we do a video of how to do it so that we all know how to get in there.
Okay, that's good too.
Yeah, I think we should just do a screen record. So we'll do that, and then the Discord will allow us to kick off all the cool things we're going to do. So if you haven't yet, head over to chattycathyclub.com and pick it up because we have some cool things planned. All right, everyone, it's that time. The end of the road is here. We bid farewell. We will see you back here on Sunday.
Bye-bye.